So in order to fit the parts on the reload arm, that's what I'm going to call it. I don't really know what this, I mean, it doesn't really equate for anything equivalent in an actual gun. There's two little screws. I found them actually to be really poor quality, the screws that were used. They'd already been rounded off a little bit. So anyway, and then the kit I provide you with longer screws to replace with, because they've got to accommodate this extra depth of the Picatinny rail. Anyway, one thing I noticed when you look at this bit of plastic that they screw into, I mean, it's really not the strongest looking plastic. I actually put a little touch of mitre glue, M-I-T-R-E, around them just to reinforce it. Again, this is probably not something that you need to do, but I'm a bit engineering-tastic with that. In your kit, you're going to have some nice grease. This is LM grease in a syringe. You might want to put a little bit around here or in the inside. I just found, like, it's plastic going against plastic. Why not have a little bit of grease? I don't know. Anyway, so it's going to fit that way back on. And the best way to fit it is screw these all the way down. It's a bit hard doing that one-handed. Let's see if I can multitask. Yeah, okay, so screw these all the way down. Don't worry about on this one, I've made a little hole and I'm still adjusting that file to actually have a routed hole in the print. Anyway, right, so you can see now that the screws have popped out, and that means that when you come to this part, let's see if I can keep it in line of the view, you kind of feel, well, I'll kind of have a look and feel where those screws are hopefully catching on their holes, and then let's see if that's the right place. Ah, yeah, that feels nice. Let's see. You'll only be screwing it in a tiny little bit and don't force it, but that's it, that's on. And then the next bit is your little hand grip. So the idea with the hand grip, so it's got a bolt that goes through, and the way it locks, it catches between these rail grooves. So I like to have it sat on the end. I just feel like when I tried all the positions, that was the most comfortable. So gotta find maybe like there. Basically, you're finding a bit where there's a hole, and oh, let me see. Bring this up a bit. Sometimes you might need to squeeze it a little bit and have your finger on the back bolt to get it to grab. But yeah, you want it snug but not over tight, because you know you could break something. So don't do that. And I find most comfortable position is actually having your bottom three fingers like that, and then your index finger up the front. What you don't want to do is at any point, like, I don't know, try and reload at an angle, or if you were to bash this way, you probably would break something. And it's just purely a case of the plastic that they use on the Sinden guns is, it could be stronger, and but it's got a nice run to it. But yeah, I find having my hand like that is the most comfortable, and I like having the rail at the front. You could probably put it further back, but then you're more at risk of hitting the trigger and stuff. This is nice, and that's how it fits. So that's the blue colour. There's more colours coming. But yeah, just so you guys, if you're interested to know how they're made, this is the 3D printer. It's a Creality CR5 Pro H, which I think these were about, I don't know, £1,200 new, and it's a real pain in the arse to use, but I've got this one working really well with loads of upgrades. The filament gets fed in through here, gets melted, and then extruded onto a plate. The filament that I use is eSun PLA Plus. You could do these in ABS, but I don't really think you need that strength for these sorts of parts. But PLA Plus is basically, I find this very consistent, this filament, and it's stronger. That's what the plus stands for. It's got higher breaking whatever. The only thing is there's a limited number of colours that the PLA Plus comes in, and that's about as close as a blue I can get. And the red that is, I've got another red coming, but this one down here, it's a little bit darker. I'm going to see what the other red looks like. The grey is pretty standard, I think that matches, and obviously you've got the black. Now, the guys were saying in the group that this stock is not mine to sell, which is fair enough. That's a really cool design, the bloke who made this, and someone's obviously got a good deal with them to sell it on Etsy. But I am working on another stock that hopefully is not going to upset anybody by getting it out there to people. It's not going to have this really lovely latch design, because I guess that's where the copyright per se comes from, but there's nothing better than actually when you're holding this gun with a stock there as well. I don't know about you guys, but I find it really uncomfortable, and I used to find that when I was a kid as well, having your palm facing upwards, like, oh, it's just so horrible in the hand, whereas this is much more comfortable. Plus it looks like a little Uzi. The other thing is, does anyone else find the actual handpiece really blocky and uncomfortable? I'm going to get some I've got some grip wraps coming, and I'm going to try that out and see if that just makes it a bit less sweaty. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So someone's already ordered 2 black. I think that's going overseas, and I'm putting them out at £10 each, so that includes the screws, the rail, handpiece, and the screws and stuff, because do you know what? I just think people should have as much fun as I've had with these. So yeah, let me know if you want one. It's on eBay.